Alright guys, Bitcoin is starting this week with a pump, just like we said yesterday. But what I'll show you next will catch a lot of people off guard. So Bitcoin is currently trading right around the golden pocket, the level that we were calling for to get swept properly on the normal chart. And if you remember, it already got hit on the logarithmic chart a few days back. We also said that the anchored VWAP aligns perfectly with the golden pocket and that it hadn't been hit yet, so there is a very high probability of it getting hit. And we already saw this happen once before, right here, where Bitcoin hit the VWAP and even traded around it for some time before rejecting and going lower. So the main target of our long is hit and it's in a very nice profit. Taking a good chunk of the table here is a good idea in my opinion, because this is one of the biggest levels that Bitcoin has to face if it wants to go higher. Now Bitcoin did break this trendline resistance on the way up to these levels and most people probably traded this breakout. But as I said, I wasn't interested in that. We already longed our longs earlier when Bitcoin hit the daily level and the liquidity down there plus the value area low. And we did say that this breakout could very easily turn into a fake out. Keep in mind that even though Bitcoin broke out here and made a higher high compared to this recent one, it could still make a lower high compared to the overall downtrend that we are still in right now. So a breakout on the lower time frames doesn't necessarily mean the bigger trend has changed. Now I have something very interesting to show you, but before that, hopefully you did watch yesterday's video because we called this move exactly. And if you guys are finding this helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Alright, let's get back to the video. And there are a few bearish signs forming on the Bitcoin chart right now. If we open up the RSI on the 1 hour, what you're going to see is a hidden bearish divergence right here. Price made a lower high, but the indicator made a higher high. If we zoom out to the 2 hour RSI, same thing right here. Another hidden bearish divergence. On the 4 hour RSI, again the same story. If we zoom out a little more to the 6 hour RSI, another one right here. And even on the 12-hour RSI, we can see a hidden bearish divergence forming as well. And it's not just the RSI. If we open up the MACD on the 6-hour, there's a bearish divergence right here as well. And on the 12-hour MACD, we could also take this as a bearish divergence. So we are seeing bearish divergences on the RSI on 5 different time frames and on MACD on 2 different time frames. That's essentially the majority time frame right now. And we also mentioned this level right here that Bitcoin saw many reactions from. So this area is definitely a strong area, and combined with the bearish divergences stacking up on almost every time frame, it could turn south for late longs pretty quickly. Now another good level sits slightly above where Bitcoin is right now. I'm talking about the value area high of the fixed range volume profile. If you look right here, it's significant level and Bitcoin could very easily push up and test it while still making a lower high and keeping this downtrend intact. So I'm not excluding this level at all. And not only that, in case Bitcoin does push up to the value area high, the bearish divergences that we just talked about on all those time frames would only get steeper, which would make them even stronger signals for a potential rejection. So right here there is a pretty clean short setup. Somewhere between this area and the value area high with a stop loss above the high at $72,000. Because if Bitcoin breaks above that level, it would break this entire downtrend structure that we've been tracking. And in that case, we should reconsider and look for other setups. But as long as we stay below the high, the downtrend is intact and a short from this area makes a lot of sense with all the confluence we just talked about. And in yesterday's video, I also showed you this chart where you can clearly see that Monday brings by far the biggest returns for Bitcoin on average in 2026. And that Thursday is the worst. And today is Monday and we are seeing exactly that. Bitcoin is pumping. But if we look at the chart, you can clearly see this trend in action. Most of the Monday pumps this year were retraced later in the week. So that combined with the bearish divergences stacking up on almost every time frame, the golden pocket, the anchored VWAP, and the high reaction level all sitting right here, there's a lot of reasons for this pump to get retraced as well. As always, this is not financial advice and manage your risk. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.